Hello everyone, so in this video I want to do an unboxing of a lens that I actually rented from a website called borrowlens.com. The reason I rented this lens is because we have a photo shoot tomorrow at a bar mitzvah event in a Jewish temple. They have very strict rules in terms of where we can set up the video camera for the shoot. So as you can see over here, I have my Sony 70-200 lens over here, but we actually tested it in the temple, and I don't think this lens is gonna be close enough if we actually set up our camera all the way at the back of the temple where the event is happening at the front near the ark. Okay, so that is the reason we actually went online, did some research, and we found a place called borrowlens.com that we can actually rent a lens for fairly cheap for just a one-day photo shoot. And this is the Sony 100-400 f4.5 to 5.6 GM lens. It's not the fastest lens, but it actually has a very favorable zooming range that we think is going to be perfect for the video shoot tomorrow. So we're going to open up the package and do some quick look around, because since this is the first time we're actually using this lens, it will be interesting for me to really just test it quickly tonight before going out on the shoot. I mean, granted, it's a GM lens, so it should be very similar to the GM 70-200 over here, but it's important to test those lenses, especially if you are renting it from a place that rents out lenses. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. So it comes with it comes in a very plain box, and this box looks like it has been used multiple times with lots of markings on where like the tapes that they've used from the last time, and lots of stickers over here. So they definitely reuse the box, which is nice, I think. Opening up the box, here is your lens over here, the recycling sign over there, and then you have your receipt and return label is in here. And so there's my receipt. So I rented this lens for a total of $108, and that's for a weekend rental. I got it on Friday, and I'm going to be returning it on Monday morning by putting on the return label, slap it on there, and then just drop it off at the UPS store. This is the lens itself. Comes with just in a plastic bag. Of course, there's no original packaging, and it didn't come with a case. It's just a plain packaging, and actually feels quite heavy. Weight really quick, and I'm going to compare it with the 70-200. So this comes in at 1,600 grams, which converts to about 3 pounds and 10 ounces. Okay, that's with the lens hood. Try to see what the weight is for the 70-200 GM lens. Guess what? The 70-200 2.8 is actually lighter than the 100-400. That's why when I first took it out, it feels like it's quite heavy, and it could also be because of the tripod mount over here. I took the tripod mount off my 70-200 because I was hand holding it for the shoot, and but that's probably the weight difference. So if I do let's see if I can take this off really quick. And also it looks like let's see, I think it looks like it have a filter on it. So it comes with a 77mm Tiffen filter. It's an uncoated filter. So if you want the best image quality, you might want to switch out the filter to one of your own. So I might be switching out my B+W multi-coated filter onto the lens for the photo shoot tomorrow. Okay. In terms of zooming, it's one of those that extends all the way when you actually zoom it out. On the 70-200, of course, it's a better designed internal zooming lens. So feels like the build quality is equal, like it's just as good as the 70-200. Unfortunately, the aperture is slightly slower than what I would like, but I think for tomorrow's photo shoot as an emergency backup, it should work just fine, okay? The zooming ring is really very loose compared to my own, which actually have some resistance when you just rotate it around. And there are definitely signs of use on this lens. There are some scratches over here and some markings, a lot of markings on the plate over here from this rented lens. In terms of the cleanliness of the lens elements on the front and the back, the lens elements are all like perfect. Like there's no scratches on those. So if you guys are concerned about the quality of the rental lens that you get from one of those companies, you shouldn't have any concern. And in terms of the wear and tear on the lens mount, I can definitely see some wear and tear, but it's not terrible. There are some markings from repetitively removing the lens and putting it onto different cameras, like right over here. So next step, I'm gonna be actually just testing the lens to make sure it is fully working for tomorrow's photo shoot, okay? And camera I'm gonna be using is my A7 III. Actually, I took my 7200 off. All right, so I just put it on my camera, and we're gonna test out the lens really quickly. And from what I read online before I got the lens, since this is my first time using it, the closest focusing distance is about 3 foot, a little more than 3 foot, 3.2 foot. And the 70-200 have a very similar close focusing distance at around 3.1 foot. Okay, so very similar in terms of getting really close to the subject and get them in focus. And so we're just gonna try it on our cat right over there. I'm gonna just take some pictures really quick and see how well it works. Oh wow. It gets really close compared to the 200. So I'm gonna take some sample shots. And of course, this camera have the Sony's OSS image stabilization. So like even at 400, it's like rock steady, super steady. Unfortunately, the aperture at 400 is 5.6, so slightly slower, but it works really well. I'm just gonna show you guys really quick, and the focus is really good, just as good as the 70-200. And so that's at 400 right over there. It's like really zoomed in. I'm gonna try 100 over here. And I'm pretty sure Benjamin wouldn't mind. So focus works fine. Zoom works fine. And let's try the 70-200. Just get a quick feel. So I know tomorrow we can count on this lens when we set it up on the tripod for the videos, which is great. And if you guys are thinking about renting a lens instead of spending money to buy a really expensive one, you should do it. So on the 200, it feels like the image, the frame is about, so on the 400, if I say the 200 is 100%, the 400, I can get almost twice as close on Benjamin compared to the 200. So it will be really helpful tomorrow. But in terms of getting a really nice looking bokeh, whatever you call it, the 70-200 wins, because as you can see, it blurs the background really nicely, okay? Like just right off the bat, I can tell you that it blurs the background really nice. This is from the 400 at 5.6. His fur on the back is not quite blurred, but if we switch to the 200 at 2.8, you can see it's really nicely blurred on the fur. But again, I'm using this for the video, so it might even be beneficial for me to keep it at 5.6 for tomorrow's shoot. Okay guys, so the point of this video is really not about this lens that I just rented. It's mainly about the experience of renting your very first lens. And this is my first time renting the lens from borrowlens.com. Couple of things to note is that my shoot is tomorrow and I scheduled to pick up the lens today at a UPS store because I'm working in the daytime and I'm not able to be staying at home to pick up the lens. And they require a full signature during the delivery. So if I actually scheduled to have the lens delivered to me today with the signature confirmation, I would have missed the lens. That's why I chose to have the lens delivered to the UPS store. However, I found out at the UPS store that if you choose your final destination to pick up at the UPS store, they charge you $10 extra as a pickup fee for the delivery of the lens. And that's something, extra on your operating expense. You most definitely don't want to spend extra $10, which is totally not necessary to have the lens delivered. So my advice or my suggestion for you guys is, and even for me next time, is to schedule the lens delivery maybe 2 days prior to your scheduled shoot, even if it's on the weekend. And just because they're going to be shipped UPS, at least for borrowlens.com. If it's shipped to UPS, there's a service on UPS website called My Choice, which you can manage all UPS deliveries to your house. And it is at the My Choice, you have the option to actually re-deliver the package to a different location. Say you can pick up the package at the UPS store before the delivery. And if you actually choose the option, like on the My Choice website on UPS, you don't have to pay the extra $10 charge. You only pay that $10 when you choose to have it delivered at a physical UPS store directly. That is the lesson I learned for my very first lens rental. And also, the price you see on the website doesn't include return shipping cost, which is another $20 for UPS second day air. That is also a surprise expense when I actually clicked the checkout that they added onto the total cost of the lens. In terms of the value of the rental, I would say it's most definitely worth it if you only need the lens very occasionally, like a specialized lens. For example, I need the really long distance of the 400 only for one time for tomorrow's shoot. For the most other parts, I have my own 70 to 200 lens. So you really have to calculate the overall cost to see whether it's worth it to actually rent the lens at an ongoing basis, or if you want to just invest in your own zoom lens or like own expensive optics for your gear setup. For me, it's best for me to rent, but for a lot of you guys that actually maybe need to use the lens more than 2 or 3 times a month, it's most definitely worth it to actually just invest and buy the lens outright. For example, this lens, I think it's exact same price as the 70 to 200. So depending on your purpose, if you shoot a lot of really long distance, you might want to buy this lens instead of renting it, in my opinion. So in conclusion, I want to say that it is actually really good experience renting my very first lens. I had the chance to actually test it out in person. I was always interested in this lens, and this is a perfect opportunity to only spend $100 to rent the lens for the purpose of the shoot that we're gonna be doing tomorrow. So my expense is covered by my photo shoot, and I had the chance to test out the lens. Right off the bat, I can tell you it's a great lens, and it's gonna serve our purpose perfectly fine tomorrow. And if you guys are also in the market looking for a lens that you really want to get, but you're not sure if you should spend close to $2,000-3,000 to buy the lens, just go out and rent it. And maybe if you have a upcoming photo shoot that you really want to use a particular lens, go ahead and rent it. And I think you're gonna find it a lot more helpful with a rental lens, because you can find out whether you need the lens, whether you need to rent the lens, or you actually need to invest your own money to just buy the lens right off the bat after your first rental. So I hope you guys found this video helpful in helping you find out whether it is worth it to rent your very first lens to try out for yourself or maybe for your next photo shoot. For me, it definitely helped, and I think it's going to serve my purpose very well. Do take my considerations for the lens delivery time, and at the same time, you need to be very certain on the arrival time of your lens to make sure that you don't miss on your very important photo shoot without a lens rental. Okay, all those lens rental places online, they actually require signature confirmation. So if you know for certain that you're not going to be home to receive the package, make sure you redirect the package to the UPS store so you don't have to pay a fee by pointing the shipping address directly at a UPS store. Okay, that way you save at least $10 on your lens rental. If you guys have any questions about renting your first lens on any of the lens rental websites, feel free to ask me in the comment section down below. And I hope you found this video helpful as well in helping you determine whether you need to rent a lens to test out yourself as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Take care.